Now I'm going to take a moment to talk about user settings and moving user settings from one project to another. So if I go over to Avid Media Composer on the top left and go to Preferences and go over to User, now you can see my user profile right here, Assistant Editor. And if I click on the drop down box, you can see all these different options, including Reveal User Profile. So if I click on that, it'll show you exactly where your user settings are on your system. And then you can save that to your thumb drive or wherever you want to save it. I'm not going to move that. Or you can choose export user or user profile, and Avid will export it to a location that you choose. Um, when I'm starting on a new project, I like to start my user settings from scratch, like all over again. And the reason for that is based on my experience in the past, when editors or assistant editors have moved their user profile settings from one version of Avid to another, it doesn't exactly translate. Avid has a difficult time reading user settings from a different version of Avid. So if I were to import my Avid user settings from Avid 2018 or some other version of Avid, uh, what will probably happen is you'll have a lot of errors popping up as you're working, and that's because your user settings are not really compatible with the current version that you're using. So I would only move my user settings into another project if that version of Avid is exactly the same as the version that I was using previously. And you can look at what version you're using by going up to Avid Media Composer on the top left and go to About Avid. Just click on that, and you can see right now I'm using Avid 2024. And so that's about it. I generally do not move my user settings from one project or another just for that reason. It like let's say you have a project with three or four assistant editors and you've got three or four or five editors. There's if everybody brought their own user settings from a different version, that could cause a lot of chaos, a lot of errors popping up, a lot of crashing. I've seen that before. So it's always better when you're starting on a new show or a new movie, just click on create a new user profile and start over completely from scratch. And then you don't have to worry about having any crashes or uh, user setting errors, and everything will be easier that way.